watching Father's Love, Father's Heal, and I'm back in the garden making a video on what to do with all these leaves. It's 60-some degrees, it's middle of November, so it's pretty warm today, but I'll take it because it's going to be snowing before you know it. So I want to talk about what I usually do with all these leaves. I go around my neighbors over here and over there and over there, and I blow all their leaves and pile them up here because I don't have very many trees around my property. And leaves, it's one of the best mulches you can use. Let me show you what's going on in the garden and what I'm going to do with these leaves. I've put most of my beds to sleep for the winter time. I put a cover crop of red crimson clover in these beds, and I did plant this bed and this bed here with all my garlic. I got an amazing garlic harvest this year, so I didn't have to buy any garlic, and that's my goal now. As long as I plant garlic every year, I am self-sufficient in garlic. These two beds here, they're still going real strong. These two are all dinosaur kale, and Swiss chard is still kind of going. And here I'm just letting some cabbage grow until it dies off. Still have carrots in the ground. And what I'm doing here, this is a chop and drop method that I do for all of my beds too, right before I put the leaves on. So usually what I do is I take any dead plant material and I just cut it down and drop it right where it's at. So that's going to break down and it's going to turn into good soil. Sometimes I throw it in a compost, but the last couple years I've just been doing a chop and drop method, and it's worked out pretty good for me. These beds here, same thing. I cut everything down, just dropped everything in place. Now I'm going to lose some material just to the air as it breaks down, but I'm going to cover them with leaves, and hopefully by the time it breaks down we'll have a good layer of snow on the ground, and that way it'll keep everything in place, insulate the beds, keep the worms alive, and the worms will break all this down, and by the time spring comes all this will be completely gone, broken down. Let me talk about the leaves for a second. Okay, so usually every year I would take these leaves and I'll run them over with my lawnmower, get them broken down real small, and then I'll put them on top of my beds or put them in the compost. But the problems I've been seeing is usually by middle winter all the leaves are gone. They're broken down from the constant weight of the snow and worms and different critters eating the leaves, and I have no protection. Probably by middle of February everything is gone. There's nothing there, just bare compost, which is fine, but I want protection the whole winter time. So that's why the last 2 years, I've just been putting on a nice thick layer of leaves right on top of my bed, and then hopefully it'll snow, which it is this weekend, and I get some weight on there, and that'll keep the leaves in place. Now, a lot of people will say if you put the leaves down and then it'll crush down to a mat, you won't let any water penetrate the soil. I haven't seen that. I guess it would depend on whatever climate you're in. Here in Ohio, in the wintertime, usually we get a lot of snow. So the weight of the snow is getting warmer, colder, warmer, colder, plus all the worms. By the spring, all of it's gone, broken down, and I don't have that problem. But it definitely lasts a lot longer if I do it this way. So I'm not doing all my beds right now. I'm just going to do some of them, and I'm going to put a layer of leaves down, and then I'll show you some of the other stuff going on in the garden. Okay, so there's no need for me showing you the boring part. So this is how I did the leaves. All I did was take them and put a nice thick pile where my raised beds were, and this is pretty thick. I know it seems crazy. You think this won't be gone. When the leaves are dried, you get a little bit of weight on them, and they just crumple to small little pieces. So from the snow pushing constantly on it, this will be gone here by springtime. So this is how I did these beds here. I got 1, 2, 3, 4. That last bed I just left the cover crop on there, but I just put a thick pile of leaves on the raised bed. Easy as it gets. These two beds here, they still have garlic. I'm going to wait till the garlic pops up. Once the garlic pops up, I'll put a layer of leaves on there, and I got to put a layer of compost on this one. And then once I cut all these down, I'll chop and drop them right in place. Then I put compost down, chop and drop them, put that on top of the compost, put the leaves on top of the plants that I chop and drop, and then this bed will be done. And that's how easy it is to build quality soil. You don't have to get too technical or crazy with it. All you have to do is stack material in layers on top of one another and give it time and let it break down and let nature do all the work. You don't have to do anything. Now, I just want to show you one more thing. This is a couple years old leaf mold. Let me see if I can find some. It's broken down pretty well, but if you see like the quality, and all I did was put it in here and let it sit. You see the quality of that, and I will use this as my seed starter in the spring, and I'll have to sift this with some worm castings and some compost in this, and then that will be my seed starting mix. I just wanted to make a quick little video on what I'm doing for the fall and how I'm getting my garden ready for the spring. I know it's kind of depressing if you're a gardener. Everything is dead, leaves are falling, all your crops are pulled, and there's nothing going on, but this is the perfect time to get your garden ready for the springtime because it's going to be right around the corner. Thanks for watching this video, and I also want to say I started a woodworking company, and if you need any cutting boards, anything like that, check out my page on Instagram or Facebook at Ask Alex Woodworks with an X, and I'll put the link down below. Check it out if you're interested in anything, and let me know what you think of my work. So now is the time to slow down with the garden. The end of the season for me, I started a new business, so I haven't been able to put a lot of time into my garden, but my garden is at the point where I don't have to baby everything. I have a nice floor of strawberries, so that's keeping the weeds down. I always put mulch. I'm putting the leaves down, and that's keeping the weeds at bay, so I don't have to worry about weeding. I have plenty of perennials, the annuals, and once I put them in the ground, I don't have to baby them. My soil is good quality, and that just takes time and many years of perseverance and building that soil quality, getting the beneficial insects in, and let nature do the work. You don't have to do much. Just give nature what it needs to prosper. Thanks for watching. I'm going to make a couple more videos before the season's over, and I hope you have a good rest of your garden season. I'll see you at the next one.